Hey guys, what's going on? We got another Enhancement Shaman PvP video. This time me and Shu are doing twos. He's on his Holy Paladin. I'm on the Enhanced Shaman, and I'm actually playing the Storm build because well, I've just been having the itch to play it. Um, so if you've caught me in the past, you know I don't particularly enjoy the twos, but this wasn't actually too bad. It's leveled out a little bit, but still a bit of a pain in the butt as an enhanced shaman. But anyways, let's get into this. So first off, we're against the Resto Druid, and our main focus is going to be kind of hitting the ret, but at the same time, we want to make sure we're switching. As fighting Resto Druids, you always want to be switching around, trying to get them to switch their hots all over the place. So as you can see, I'm doing a whole lot of damage to this Ret Pally, getting a whole lot of cooldowns from the Resto Druid. We already got Innervates, we got Barkskin, and then I switch over to him because he just used all of his hots on the Paladin, so I was like, okay, let's go. Jump over to him, get a nice Ascendance proc, we get quite a lot of damage. I tried chasing him, but it just wasn't worth it in the end. Go back to the Paladin, get another Ascendance proc, and I'm just applying so much damage. Although the Druid hasn't lost too much mana, we've still gotten almost all of his cooldowns from him. And it doesn't look like he's running tree form either, so that one I can't really get at. But, and if you don't know, it's been a while since I've touched Enhance. It's a couple weeks now. I've been playing Elemental mostly, just trying to get the feel for that. But, I don't know, this session felt pretty darn good. I enjoyed it a lot. For being twos, that is. But yeah, I'm running Bloodlust because I want to go super offensive. I don't really want to worry about anything, and when fighting a melee cleave. And in twos, I feel like people already know the whole niche Counter-Strike totem thing. There, I went for the kick, and I pressed Arena 3 instead of 2 because I was thinking of 3s. So I missed kick, and this is where I called it. I was like, oh, I'm dumb. So he got the clone off. He switches to me. He jumps at me, which was really weird on his part. So I use Cage Totem, bring him back to me, make sure he can't get away. Pop Doom wins, just wailing on him right now, trying to get as much damage as possible. He almost goes off. He gets to 1%, and then I just switch to the rest of Ret Paladin just because I'm not catching a Druid, right? I just can't. So there's the Iron Bark. So I switch back to the Druid. He jumps away. So I was like, oh crap, not again. So we just go back to the Ret Pally as we are. And yeah, the matches have been going on like a long time. Here he went for a clone. I go ahead and kick. He let me run at him, which was weird. Shook goes for a drink here. So I'm like, okay, I'll just sit here and try not to die. He comes out and dispels my Hodge. I should have pre-walled the Hodge because I felt it coming. But here we get Paladin's cooldowns. We get his wall. He still hasn't bubbled yet, so we're kind of waiting for that. Unfortunately, we still don't get it. And he's got all of his trees up, all these hots on him. I'm forgetting, like, I haven't used Earth Shield or Healing Stream Totem this whole time, if you haven't noticed. So it's really bad on my part. So if you're playing, make sure you're spamming those on cooldown, making sure you always have them active. I grip in the Druid because I want to hit him, right? I don't want him just sitting there thinking, oh, I can get away with anything. But here he goes for a clone on Shook, which was very odd. He runs away, so there's the sack. So I'm like, okay, just wail on the Ret Pally once again. Get as much damage out as possible, trying to burn this Druid's mana. And he's getting close. He's getting down there, so we're getting closer and closer. I get a whole bunch of damage. There's the Iron Bark. I don't have I can switch now. I was gonna say I don't have Feral Lunge, but I actually did. So there, the Druid, as you can see, the Druid just gets away. He goes for a drink. He Shadow Melts drinks. I drop Earth Grab Totem, but I don't think I quite got him. So Shook starts running over to where the Druid is because he wants to get the Hodge. I'm just wailing on this Paladin. We get very close. I kick him on the regrowth, and he actually gets a 1% bubble, which was quite unfortunate. Here he's trying to run away again, so I just Cage Totem. So useful. I love this frickin' totem. There's the Trank. So there's both immunities gone. Now, and then the paladin just falls over. That's the nice part about running elements or root of elements, is you just randomly get burst windows and they can't do anything. So here we're fighting Disciplined Beastmaster. It was definitely a weird matchup. The disc wasn't running aggro disc, which in my opinion should have been his best option, especially running with a BM hunter. But anyways, this matchup works out more in my favor. One, he doesn't have like constant movement removals like running with a holy paladin, so he can't quite get away from me. And the druid isn't there isn't a druid to spam root me either, so I can just wail on this paladin. He made a weird call by going after Shook every once in a while, which definitely was odd. But there he gets a trap on Shook. So I use Ancestral Guidance, so I'm healing and dealing damage. I go for a Hex, eat the Paladin kick, or Hunter kick, sorry. And so I'm running a talent where when I crash lightning, it increases the damage of my next Storm Strike based on how many targets I've hit. And I love this talent when fighting pet classes such as Demo Locks and BM Hunters, because you can just funnel so much damage. So as you can see, I'm getting everything from these guys. He goes ahead and freezes me, while Shook goes and dispels me right away, because we kind of saw that coming. And I knock him out of the dome because it's damage reduction, right? So he uses Disengage to get back in, which is kind of a mistake because now he can't get away from me at all. There's an MC, I just go ahead and trinket it. Screw it, right? There's really not a whole lot they can do to me. I get a cage off, use Sunder to interrupt the priest, and then we just continue hitting the hunter. I don't even think he used turtle or even has it. I'm not sure, but I don't think it ever went off. But yeah, as you can see, I'm able to just keep up with him. Shook giving me the freedoms I need, and just so much damage going out on this hunter right now. Doom wins, we get a primordial wave. He does war stomp me, so I went for the kick on the priest, but the stun got me. I saw the fear coming in on Shook, so I just go ahead and tremor, and I get a nice Ascendance proc to finish him off. Oh, I love Ascendance. It's great. I can't wait to see what those Stormbringer hero talents are. But on to the next match, we got Mistweaver, Havoc, Demon Hunter. I don't know what happened with this one. Demon Hunter was really, really laggy, which was freaking me out. And then here, the monk kind of froze. I don't know what exactly happened, but I got a whole lot of procs. Shook bubbled me, so they couldn't do anything. I, 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 I really have no idea what happened there. I just showed it because, I don't know, it was just boom, a lot of damage, but yeah, I don't know what happened. Here, we're fighting Dev Dragon and Disc Priest. I've gotten a bit more experience against these dragons. They're still really rare and awkward to fight, but I found interrupting Disintegrate, which is their like spammable thing, is the best option. Here I'm just spamming grounding. He's got PI and everything. Shook's like, holy crap, that was a lot of damage, and I was like, yeah, it was. But we end up just getting pain suppression and doing a whole lot of damage. There's his heal for damage taken thing, not sure. And also ultimate penitence, which was odd. So here's trying to run away, but Cage Totem does not allow that. Best freaking totem in the game. And here we're just focusing the Dev Dragon because we don't really want him running off around shoot, sleepy spamming him. And you do a lot more to a dragon than you will to a priest. Here he went for Shook. Shook goes ahead and trinkets and I tremor at the same time, which was really, really unfortunate. But I used Lasso there so I can catch up to this guy. Lasso is really, really useful in twos. Typically healers don't have an interrupt, so they can't do anything about it. The enemy just has to either heal through it or trinket it. That's about it. So here he goes for a sleep. I get an Ascendance proc. There's the swap and a pain suppression at the same time. So I go ahead and try and hit the priest. I made a mistake. I saw him death from above or whatever it's called. And so I went LOS. Unfortunately, he swapped to Shook. And but Shook ran over to me. I root them both over there. Just trying to give Shook a second to get collected or whatever. And then we're back on the dragon. I'm trying to purge off his nullification thingy-mabobs, but it's just not working. So I gave up. There, he gets asleep. I go ahead and tremor that. I'm still just doing so much damage to this dragon, and he's staying near the priest, which is kind of odd, but it makes sense. I figured the priest would have been doing a whole lot more damage than that, but seems he's doing the healer build. So, but here you can see the dragon is popping all of his damage, so I pre-walled it. Unfortunately, wall's already over, so I go ahead and grounding. Just trying to catch his disintegrate, very, very useful, or even any procs. I could have interrupted his disintegrate there, but I wanted to try and interrupt the heal right there. And just a whole bunch of damage. We catch up to him. Sunder to interrupt both of them. There's another pain suppression. Really, really a lot of those. But another proc and just unhealable damage. Just couldn't top him. And here is in my opinion, the best match we had. Feral Druid. If you guys don't know, every time they clone, they get a free Feral Frenzy, which does a lot of damage, and it procs their set bonus. So here he's really trying to clone Shook. I move him to interrupt the first one, pop everything, go ahead and interrupt him here. And then he's going to go for another cast in a second, while I'm just using my Doom Winds to wail into the sacrifice. So I use Thunderstorm, and I use Lasso to interrupt his clones. There he goes for another one, so I go ahead and interrupt. So I can't really spend any interrupts on the Paladin because I need to make sure this guy isn't cloning. So he goes ahead and gets a clone on Shook, so I just rooted him there, forcing him to shapeshift. Here comes a lot of damage, so I just go ahead and trinket. I didn't want him to freely just wail on me, so I went ahead and trinket. He gets a bop, but I interrupt his clone. Thankfully, I have that. Again, Thunderstorm to interrupt. Now he's chasing after Shook behind the pillar, which is probably not the best idea, so I use Cage to kind of pull him off. Sunder to interrupt his clone once again. Like, do whatever you can to interrupt Feral Druid's clone, because that is where a lot of their damage comes from in twos, is just cloning this guy, doing damage, clone, switch, and it's quite a lot of damage if you let it get out of hand. So as you can see, I haven't let this guy get off very many clones, so his damage is very, very low. And now he's chasing after Shook, trying to get something out of it. He juked me there, which was kind of unfortunate. So I go ahead and knock him away. Thankfully, he didn't stop at the pillar. He got pushed past it. And he gets a clone on my wolf just to proc his PvP talent. So I go ahead and kick the Tier's Deliverance. Now, I can't catch the Druid, so I just go ahead and hit the Paladin. And I have to eat a clone because I spent the interrupt on a heal. And now he switches the clone. So here, it could be a lot of damage. But thankfully, it took him a while to get set up, so Shook was able to get out of that clone and keep me alive. But yeah, the Feral Druids, you have to be on point with interrupting their clone. So it's crazy how out of hand it can get if you let it, you know. So we're still on the Feral Druid. He's taking all the damage. There's a bop. I'm spamming Purge, trying to get it off of him, but it just does not want to go. So finally it goes. Here he goes for another clone, so I kick it, get an Ascendance proc, so I'm wailing on this guy at this point. He goes for another clone, go ahead and Thunderstorm him off. And he's actually going for Shook here, which is really weird, but there's the maim. Go ahead and trinket that because I want to do damage. Interrupt his clone once again. And we got Primordial Wave wailing on him. He goes for a clone far away, and I just lasso him. You are not getting a clone. And it's just hilarious. So he runs away, so I switch to the Paladin for a second, but end up using Sunder to kick his clone. Use the Totem Static to move him to interrupt. Like, we have so many ways to stop his clone. I'm pretty sure this guy hated me. Like, he must have been cursing and swearing so much. There he gets a precog because I frigged up and missed his clone, but thankfully we were able to, Shook was able to stay alive. He gets a clone on Shook, which I found really odd, but he gets very, very close to ending me here. But Shook was able to get out of the clone and bop, and then I get a kick on his clone once again. He's back in bear form. Shook gets a nice rep forcing bubble from the paladin, but he just doesn't have any mana at all to keep him alive, so I use Thunderclap to finish it off. But yeah, that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you don't mind seeing a twos video. And hopefully you'll be back for more. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Laters!